Noticing a theme today. Seems that we have a pattern, and the pattern is equal highs. Equal highs means break of structure, and then the break of structure turns into distribution. This is happening with most of the cryptos today, past couple days, and we're going to go over them. So hang tight. Let's get through these. Let's get through these charts, buddies. You should subscribe and like my channel. That's definitely what you got to do. Definitely what you got to do. If you don't subscribe and like my channel, I'm going to be a very upset person because I'm giving you a lot of great information. I'm giving you a lot of free money and ideas and things like that. So, yeah, all that good stuff. So, all right. I hope everybody's weekend is going well. Everybody's well rested. Man, my weekends have been absolutely crazy. I've been working till 3 in the morning, and then yeah, I've been paying attention to the market. So um, today's been an interesting day, as like I said, as I've been comparing a lot of different charts, and that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. And I want to show you some classic examples of some smart money being in the charts actively, and it's so easy to see once you were able to spot it. And that's what I want to point out to you guys in this video. I want you to see the way that the chart makes itself. I wouldn't say makes itself, but yeah, they're the powers that be. What they're doing is they are forcing the charts to basically come to double highs. Is what I've been seeing, a lot of double highs. Once they get to those double highs, they'll have a little bit of a pullback. And then once they have that pullback, it will run right through those double highs, busting through that liquidity that I always say, hey, this isn't, a lot of people would think of that as um, a resistance line, but it's not a resistance line. It's generally whenever it's touching and it comes back and it goes up and it touches the same place and it comes back, it generally has to do with a fair value gap primarily. And then the third time when it goes up to that area, it just shoots right through it. At least that, for sure, that's what Bitcoin did. I know that. And there's quite a few others that did as well. So let's just go ahead and jump on over to the charts, shall we? And of course, I would be on something I shouldn't be on. I'm on my thumbnail maker. Hey, at least you know how I make my thumbnails. I don't know how many times I've done that. But here, let's go ahead and start us off with Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin was, I think, the catalyst of all this. And I think I drew it out pretty perfectly. Now, what I did is I did make a call. So I'm leaving this there because I think this is what's gonna happen. All right. So after we had the fall, all the way down to here, and everybody's freaking out, wondering if it's ever gonna come back or whatnot. If you actually, did multiple time frame analysis, you would see that this had a 4-hour gap or 4-hour fair value gap. And that 4-hour fair value gap, what it did is it came right into the middle, smack dab into the middle of that 4-hour fair value gap before it finally, boom, took off. Now, it still did hang around that area for quite some time, I'm not gonna lie. But then once it finally came out, it definitely came out. And even then, it broke structure right there. So that should have told you something that, something good was bound to happen. It didn't, kind of just barely come up and come up underneath it and then kind of drift off. No, this one came out strong. And here's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. You have a high here, and I can probably move this guy right here because this is where I'm expecting it to come back, to be honest. So you this is not exactly equal highs. There will be other ones that I'll get to that will be a little bit more cut. And dry. This one came okay, so this one didn't get all the way up here, but still it came close enough to where it would make people think that it would be a resistance point, right? So people started selling short, right, chasing this, thinking it's going to go all the way down. And then didn't take too long after that. What's it do? Comes back up, gets equal to this almost. Let me take this over here. Almost gets equal to that, and then stays in here, consolidates, then boom, punches through, then boom, punches through. You can see that a couple times. Then it starts falling again, getting people to chase it. Now this time it's a little bit more interesting because what it does is it actually breaks sell side liquidity. That's something I didn't actually draw in here. If I can get this thing to work right now to see what that's going to look like. Okay, so you have this red candle, last red candle down, right before your next candle up, closes above it, and then continues on. So there, now we have a bullish order block. So I'm going to put that on the top of the red candle. If I can find the body of it, that would be better. There it is, I think. No, not there. Well, you know what? I'm just going to bring it over here and we'll fix it. There we go. Why'd that move? Now here we're at about 36,000. Okay. So as you can see, this guy here, let me see if I can pull this. You know what? I'm just going to do this really quick. Okay. So as you can see, those are fairly equal lows. So then it pulls back up and then makes you kind of think it's going to go upwards and then boom, slams down. Well, the reasons you can kind of see why it wouldn't actually go up. For one, we have two, we have a big fair value gap right here. Not a big fair value gap, but it's a fair value gap enough upwards that it's going to, there you go, almost attracted about halfway through it. Well, I always tell you about halfway through these fair value gaps. They almost always do this. They get about halfway through, boom, reject, and then they'll push themselves through it after that, if they do. Sometimes they're not as lucky. Sometimes they will come up and just touch the bottom, and then we have kind of a floating situation. But if they push themselves through, then what they'll do is they'll usually take a step back and clear out all of that, what was an imbalance, right? It looks for balance and it looks for liquidity. That's basically what it looks for all day, every day. How it tries to find that, that's what the algorithm is for. All right. So now that we have seen that it has hit this order block, right? And now I'm actually going to label this really quickly. That way I don't forget, because it's the one thing I'm really bad at sometimes. Okay, so there we go. Plus order block means bullish order block. Here, what I'll usually do with sell side liquidity is I'll usually put it in like a silverish and then dot it, and then a simple SSL, sell side liquidity, because that's where it went for. That's what it broke the sell side liquidity, hit the bullish order block, moving up and out of this range. And this was on Friday, I do believe. There we go. 4 hours. You can definitely see there is the big fair value gap. And of course it comes up, touches the top of it, pulls back just a little bit, comes all the way back down. And then boom, explosion. And I mean explosion. Because right here was the highest. I mean, before then, I mean, it was just kind of meandering its way up. It was consolidating where we're going up and down. We were going up and down. Then all of a sudden, boom, it just took off. And so that also kind of has me worried. Not really worried, but in Bitcoin just like kind of like took off like a bat out of hell, and it really never came back. I was telling people, I was like, there's a big imbalance there, and it's eventually gonna have to be filled. Um, so what I'm looking at now is I'm looking at this imbalance over here, all the way across, and I should probably dim that background there. And the same thing, and that's a daily there. Or no, it's a 4 hour. I don't know why. And look, it just ran through both of these fair value gaps. I mean, yeah, it happens on a rebound for sure, but man, did that happen kind of quick. And now we're back up above 40. So, that being said, I personally thought what we would see with Bitcoin was that since you have the break of structure here, right? So this is the last high after the consolidation, and then you also have a breaker here, and you may have the breaker on the hour. I'm not 100% sure. Yep, there it is on the hour. So that's the last up green candle before the last down red candle. And then if you were to also, well, at the time, if you were to put a fib on it up to here, right around there, that 61% would have met that breaker. Market maker buy sell model. That's what it was called. But I'm sure it'll know what I'm talking about. It didn't. It did not. Market maker. But instead, it is not pulling back. This is what is worrying me. Is that it should have a little bit of a pullback and then go up, right? Instead, it's going sideways right along this fair value gap. It's not coming back into it, which means I have a feeling we're gonna have a harder, not a harder fall, but we're gonna have a fall that people are gonna be not paying attention to. They're just gonna think this thing's gonna go on forever, and not realize that there is a lot of imbalances here that need to be covered, right? So, and this is definitely one right here. I think I made the 15-minute ones for sure. We're on the hour. There's definitely an hour when there's all kinds of fair value gaps in here. I shouldn't have to mark all of them. I won't mark all of them just because there are way too many. So my thought was come back down past the break of structure, hit the actual breaker, and then that's when we should see a nice, good, bullish takeoff. But if we're going to continue doing this, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to see. But my thing is that it would eventually, I have this red oval up in here. This is where I predicted that it was going to end up. After my little, my call that I said it would pull back down into this area, and then we should see it push back up into here. That would happen, I would feel fantastically fine. I would feel extremely safe about this chart, and I would feel more bullish than ever. But the fact that we're not getting that, I am not for sure what to say, because if I look over here and we got imbalance here going right through all this with all these imbalances. Again, you always have to think about the maker model buy sell model. Remember that maker model buy sell model. All right, I'll pull up again really quickly, just so in case you haven't heard of it, if you've never watched my videos before, I'm sure it'll know what I'm talking about. It didn't. It did not. Market maker. Now it should give us the actual image that I want. And it'll have like different squares, kind of going up and down and whatnot, letting us know. Oh, come on, where's the images? Jesus. I feel like I hit this like a million times ago. Here it is. So this is here. We'll actually just click on this. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the market maker buy or sell model, right? This is what the market makers try to do to force the markets, right? So it's the area of manipulation, the consolidation, manipulation, consolidation, and the distribution. And basically what they're doing is they're trying to get from here just a little bit above here. But to get there, they have to do all of this to make even more money, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And so that's what I always picture in my head whenever I am looking at whenever I'm looking at these charts. I'm always thinking about the market maker buy or sell model, because if there is no consolidation in these areas that are left open to where there's an imbalance, well, eventually it's going to come back and there is going to be an imbalance. So the question is when? Ooh, I don't know. I thought it would be after it hit this first bearish order block. And now it's come up and hit this bearish order block. And well, we'll see if it's going to come down after that or not. I'm not for sure, but that's what's happening right now. Let's move on to another one because we got quite a few to get through today. Wear your pants. That's what I was going to say.